I don't want to judge myself or be judged for my body. I have to honor and respect every other body on the spectrum. There is no one in this room right now that doesn't understand my struggle. No one. I don't care if you're size 2. You know what it means to struggle. You know what it means to overcome. You know what it means to get that consistency in your life. So if you have a coach that's on the smaller end of the spectrum, she gets you. He gets you. 6-pack, he gets you. She gets you. And if you're plus size, don't think for a minute that 6-pack Joe and the fitness instructor at the gym that you can't identify. You 100% can. Your story, your journey, and where you are right now is what matters, not what you think people want to see. We are not here to be dancing monkeys. We are not here to perform. There's this thing that happens when we become a coach that we think that, what's my niche? Anybody struggling with that? Like, what's my niche? Who should I be talking to? Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Who should I be talking to? You. You. Where you are right now. What did you figure out? What have you figured out recently? It's not a big deal. Just something little. Somebody hasn't figured that out. And they're gonna see you on social media sharing the comfort level that you have and go, I identify, thank you. Thank you for sharing that because I see me in you. And I didn't need to know your whole story. I just need to know that you had this thing that you figured out, and I'd like to figure that out too. Well, here, I have a total solution in a box, in an online workout. I want to do this together with you. We don't have to have letters behind your name. Actually, you do. I lied. You do. You have to have 4 letters behind your name. You ready? L-I-F-E. I'm pretty sure we all have that. Those are letters you need to have behind your name. How many of you guys struggle with people judging you? Judging you for eating healthy? Judging you at Thanksgiving, like, what happened to that diet you were on? Says Aunt Sally, who could really use the solution in the box. It's always interesting, right? You know why? Because you were holding up a mirror to those around you, and they're realizing they should too. I was told what I do is bad for plus size women. It's okay, that's all right, because they've been highly inspired and they've had an amazing journey themselves. I was told what I do is bad for plus size women. I was fighting 2 industries, myself personally. The plus size industry that I came out of, and the health and fitness industry. Because when I went searching for a version of myself online 5 years ago, somebody else having a hard time literally getting off the couch, not because I'm lazy, I physically could not get my center of gravity to get off the couch. I was somewhere between 350 and 400 pounds. How am I going to do these exercises on the floor? How am I going to do crunches? Well, guess what? I don't have to. I went searching for that, and all I found was women who talked about how much they hated themselves before and how much they love themselves now, and I'm like, I love myself now. I love myself so much that I'm gonna go take off and take really good care of myself and whatever that looks like. So I couldn't find her, I became her. And I encourage you to become him or her. Don't look what other coaches are doing, or what they call themselves, or their niche. It's not you. Be inspired, but be the version of you right now. So how do you do that confidently? Can I give you guys a couple real quick tips? So here's the deal. You're not here to debate, talk into, any other word that goes along, full of thesaurus. Okay? You're not here to justify who you are and why you do. You are here to be the best version of you on that day. Only worry about the person that needs your message. I'm always really surprised, you know, we talk about my SC points and, helping a lot of people, because a lot of people out there need help. I don't have the magic niche, because if I had the magic niche that people are talking about, you're too focused on the marketing and not focused enough on the person. I focus from my heart. What brings you joy? What feels good to you? What makes you get verklempt? Who is she? Who is he? Who are they to you? What is that thing that when you say, because I'm thinking about her. You see what just happened? Because I'm thinking about her. Who lights my belly on fire? Who sets my soul on fire? Who am I? What was I looking for at this point? Have you thought about that right now? Can you think of that? Think about that. Who makes you cry? Who makes you cry? Who makes you get emotional? That's who you need to be talking to. Because it's probably you. It's probably a version of you. And I'm going to tell you that on a goodness point. There is nobody in this room that doesn't have at least one life to help change on a monthly basis. There's no one in this room that doesn't have at least one life to help change on a monthly basis. You certainly have at least 3. And here's the difference from where I stand. And remember, you guys have to remember, I had to restart my business. Starting and stopping your business is very difficult. But when I sat in the dark, I'm like, how do I want to have this feel differently? What do I want to change? I overhauled some stuff. I don't recommend overhauling everything, but it was time for me to overhaul some things, and I did. The reason why we're not helping people on a monthly basis is because we're so worried about what they're going to think of us. We're so worried about them saying no. Let them say no. Don't convince them. Don't talk them into it, but let them see you show up. Let them see you move forward, even if it's falling flat on your face. Do you know what my kids learned? My kids learned how to stop eating junk food. I fed them junk food. I don't even know how many fat cells I put in them because it's a lot. Sponsored by McDonald's. Yeah, so when Autumn said that, right? In these past 5 years, my struggle with my food addiction has become less and less and less and less. And in the moments that I binge, I now have binge rules, because I still do. I'm human. I'm a human, period being human, just like everyone else. But in those 5 years, I've learned what it meant to fuel myself with foods that are appropriate. I am not the fast weight loss story, and thank goodness for that for me in my life. I'm a slow turtle. For those sliders I told you about, that I couldn't move, I can pike on those, and I was able to do the frog. Like 15 of them, a couple of rounds. You're gonna have moments that your business is gonna stop. You're gonna have things that go wrong in your life. In this room, somebody's gonna have sickness and illness and job loss and whatever it is. You can choose to live there, or you can choose to move forward in spite of it. I'm gonna give you the worst marriage advice in the world. My husband, I said in the video, he moved forward in spite of me. I wanted to keep him where he was as the unsupportive spouse because I was concerned there wouldn't be room in his life for me. There are people who do that. I was one. I used to eat Beachbody coaches for breakfast in the morning if you reached out to me. Hey, I've got a weight loss and accountability group. I'm like, hey, does it look like, what makes you assume that's what I want? Oh, because I'm big? Well, let me tell you, and I was brutal. I was really mean, but I was angry. I was mad at my husband, I was mad at my life, I was mad at all these things that had occurred. The reason why I'm telling you all this stuff is because, one, I had to apologize, and I'll say it again, I apologize to every Beachbody coach for any horrible thing I've ever said. It's only because I was in a negative, nasty place, and I admit it, and I didn't know what it meant to have kindness in my life. I haven't met a Beachbody coach yet that hasn't been genuine, loving, and amazing. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. We have a very different culture. I changed. I changed because of you guys. You showed me in my darkness. When my husband, I don't know if you know, the first year we made a 6-figure income, it was like, oh my gosh. And then my husband decided to try and die. And we didn't have health insurance, and in 3 days, he had a double infection. He thought it was an MS symptom. It was not. He had 107 plus degree temperature. He was dying in my arms. And off he went. And I went on social media saying, I don't know what to do. Thank God for live. I'm like, my husband's in the hospital, my kids are at home. I don't know if he's gonna live. And my Beachbody family, before anyone else, wrapped their arms around me. And in 3 days, that 6-figure income we developed, we took on $100,000 in debt. So let me give you some perspective. When I started off with a $140 challenge pack. We got 2 because I said, well, how many servers in Shakeology? He said 30. I said, great, then we're getting 2 and we're gonna starve. I was pretty certain we were gonna starve, okay? And healthy food is expensive, says the girl that was at the McDonald's drive-thru for the $1 menu that turned into the $15 menu. Okay, so I get all this, and I got it with the intention of returning it in 30 days. Because I like that 30-day money-back guarantee, and I was gonna lick the inside of it, and crumble it up, and kick it over, and like, give me my money. That's where I was. And I signed to be a coach, so I'm like, hey, that commission can roll up, that'll help me maybe buy some groceries with that. I did. Coolest thing in the world was having a check sent to me in the first place I went to the grocery store. That's where it went. So I kept thinking that eating healthy was impossible, not with the money we had. I learned it was the opposite. That $140 challenge pack that we got ×2, which by the way, we can't even keep the utilities on, so what were we thinking? Judge me all you want, because this sure changed my life. That was the best crazy risk investment I ever made in my life, because I got my husband, my kids are healthy, I'm healthier, we bounce back. Now it's like when we fall or when things go wrong, I'm like, oh, come on universe, what's coming? Something amazing is going to come. Every time I fall, my bounce is ridiculous, and that's not unique to me, that is us. If we choose to celebrate and go, hey, something just went wrong, I wonder what's about to go right. It's a mindset shift. So now you think about it, we paid $140 for a challenge pack, right? For our health, I would have paid 10 times that. The hospital bills that we took out for my husband to keep him alive. $100,000 was a bargain. Now how worth is your health? How worth it? And we have Shakeology, we have Beachbody on Demand, we have a total solution in our hands. A total solution. And we keep it to ourselves. Because we're afraid they're gonna say no. We're afraid they're gonna think we're being pushy. We're afraid that we're trying to sell them. We don't want them to think that. No. Be afraid of the person's life that you aren't changing right now because you're keeping it so close to your chest. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna tell people about my hairstylist because I wanna be able to get an appointment at the drop of a dime. But there's plenty of Shakeology and there's plenty of Beachbody. You don't have to keep it a secret. Talk about it. Talk about it. Beachbody, what we do is for everyone. And Beachbody's become very, very amazing. When I started Insanity, there were no modifiers. I couldn't find other bodies like Mind Emotion. Now we have modifications. Now we have UV2. But let me tell you something. Here's my brutal, honest truth. When they told me this advanced intermediate workout, and I said, let me show you what we can do, it became bigger than me. Thank you. It became bigger than me. And my ladies in my group of mostly plus size women, if they're not anymore, it's because they're not, because they worked hard to get there. Guess what they're doing? 80-day obsession, an intermediate and advanced workout. You know why? Because we worked on losing the weight between the ears. When you do that, the rest changes. The rest changes. We're too busy chasing the weight. Help lose the weight between the ears. So I have 5 minutes, and I would love to take any questions anyone has. Was that helpful, you guys?